What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and welcome back to the Save Point Podcast, episode 29. Sway is kind of in and out. Seems like internet problems, but he can join whenever he wants when the internet's fixed, and we'll be very happy to have him for a conversation. But I guess we'll, for now, just talk and hang out. What do we got? We got Final Fantasy 16. We got Crash Team Rumble. Boy, it's been a week. But we also have whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat and all that jazz. But welcome in next week, episode 30. And next week is going to have to be pre-recorded, or it already is pre-recorded. So Spider-Man 2. It's October 20th. Hope you're having a great morning. Yeah, I feel pretty okay. How you doing, buddy? It's been quite a week. Kind of dominated by Final Fantasy, Crash, and then what would you say? Maybe the FTC stuff, the Activision Blizzard stuff. It's been a wild couple days. I'm honestly so I just tweeted it actually. I'm so over it all. Like I just really want it to all go away. And all this Jim Ryan, Phil Spencer stuff. Just buy Activision Blizzard or don't buy it, whatever happens. So, oh yeah, you're right. They will, because it'll be at the, what do they call it? Not a Super Bowl, not Mega Bowl, something kind of bowl, right? The music thing. I'm not going to watch it. In fact, while it's on Sunday, I'm actually planning on streaming Crash on Sunday on the main channel. So if it happens, we can definitely talk about it a little bit. I'll just be playing Crash instead. Yeah, it's definitely more dead this week than it was last week with everything going on. He's back.
I am back. Technical difficulties seem to be over. You're not like choppy or anything like that.
No, it's doing okay. Sway, what's going on, buddy? Well, welcome in.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
What's been going on? What you been up to?
Oh man, covering AEW Fight Forever and seeing these Final Fantasy scores.
Yeah, What does it feel like this? Having this wrestling game. Now, when does it come out? Next week?
Next week. If you have the Elite Edition, it comes out Wednesday. If you have the regular edition, it comes out Thursday.
And I'm pretty sure I saw a thing on Reddit that physical copies are already out in the wild.
Yes, they are. In fact, I was watching a stream of somebody play it last
night. Nice. Yeah, I mean, at this point, and I'll make videos about it. The last couple haven't done so well, so maybe I'll stop. Because at this point, every game you can just expect to see, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is odd. And maybe, this whole non-physical future that we're heading towards, maybe that'll go away forever, because you still just see a random mom and pop shop in Israel or something, give out the physical game to some, you know what I mean? Final Fantasy, God of, really any game. I mean, I think Dead Space, the entire thing was done a day or two ahead. Somebody uploaded the entire Forspoken. I think, yeah, there was somebody streaming Forspoken on Twitch. Like, it happens to literally every game. So.
Yeah, and I noticed that, like, for example, specifically, the guy that was streaming last night was clearly, he spoke fluent English, so but his copy was French. Yep. So I'm like, yeah, they know where to go to get these. Yeah. They know.
Yeah. What else you got? Now, are you getting Final Fantasy? I haven't gotten it yet, actually. But
I have not gotten it yet. I don't know if it probably will be like a next month thing, because I'm trying to prioritize everything that's about to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Final Fantasy is something I'm going to get to this year, but there's Starfield, there's Spider-Man. I'm trying to prep for these collector's editions.
Yeah. So. No, I get. Yeah, I was looking yesterday at, like, there's gonna have to be. The good news is, I was looking at September. I would say, based off just memory, there's about 5 of name games coming out in September. I think 4 of them are on Game Pass and 1 isn't, and it's Mortal Kombat. Pretty sure. So, like, they come out very quick, and some come out on the same day, which is annoying. But at least in money terms, it gets really bad in October. But September is honestly not bad. and I'm not talking, collector's editions obviously aside, but yeah, I'm gonna have to make. I told Christy, I said like we're gonna have to make some. Well, I say we, but like I'm the only one who does this, right? It's like I'm gonna have to make some tough choices with games because there's too many. There's honestly too many, and like a thing like Alone in the Dark, which looks cool. Like, sorry, you're out. You just are.
It's gonna be hard to like even Assassin's Creed. I mean, like.
Quite a not a great release. I mean, October 12th, right? And that's Alan Wake is right after it, Spider-Man, and then Mario, which looks awesome. Wonders. That's the same day. What do you Nintendo's not gonna give me a code?
They're making us choose. This is what's happening. They're making us choose.
Did you see the meme or tweet about like two red suited individuals on the same day because Mario with his pants, red suit? So
I did not.
Yeah, it was just a joke. It's like it's pitting like two icons that wear red against, which you never would have expected something like that to happen on the same day.
It is insane. I just cannot. I mean, I'm excited. It is like we said before. We knew this was coming. We knew that they were going to pump out.
I didn't know about the Mario thing. I didn't know about Detective Pikachu. Like, come on, Nintendo. You come out of left field yesterday. Super Mario RPG. That's not this year, though. But what'd you think? The Nintendo Direct, I woke up to it. I didn't even care. It was insane. It was awesome.
I had to actually so I started out watching it before I went to work, and I had to listen to it on my way to work. But man,
they do a good job of explaining it. Is they'll say next up is and you can look forward to this game. That guy who narrates. It's pretty good.
Oh, every time I was at a red light, like I have I have a little phone holder in my car. Yeah. Every time I'm at a red light, I'm like. Sometimes I was slowing down so I could catch the red light.
Yeah. The Princess Peach game, Arkham coming to Switch.
It took a while. I was surprised to see City on Switch, but I mean, even about that.
Like Running Knight on the Switch. But yeah, people make the jokes, and I saw it. I've made jokes too. Like, how do you make Arkham Knight work on the Switch? I mean, to be fair, there's Assassin's Creed games on the Switch. Witcher 3, I think, is on the Switch. Like, I think they've had bigger. Yeah, they've had bigger. Breath of the Wild. I mean, they've had bigger games, I think, than Arkham Knight in terms of like size and scope. But Nintendo filled up the rest of October, and then they took over November somehow. Like, they just said, we got 2 games out of 3 that are coming out in November is from us. And it's like, oh my God. December still only has Avatar. There's no confirmed game that comes out in December besides Avatar.
I think the industry at this point just knows they're going to be tapped out instead of putting out new games. Yeah. Because I feel like they know it's impossible for everybody or most people to get everything. So they're probably banking on Christmas to get the games that they missed in the summer.
Do you think there's any? Because I was going back and forth with Beware the Batman on Twitter, great guy, and
absolutely.
There's games. Do you think there's games that are gonna fail because? And we both said Alan Wake. I'm really afraid Alan Wake is not going to sell well at all. Mm-hmm. And Alan Wake 1 didn't sell well. Control sold well enough to, I guess, make its own cinematic universe. But Control was not out there doing 5-10 million units. Control was small. So, Remedy's never really been big. But Alan Wake didn't sell well. And I really worry that Alan Wake 2 is not going to sell well.
I'm concerned for Alan Wake just because of the release window. That it's few games that I'm almost positive should probably push their game back.
Yeah.
Simply because of where you're releasing. I don't think that they can take another hit specifically with low sales. They can't. That would be the game to worry about. I also worry about a lot of bigger titles as well, because although say Mortal Kombat, right? And then you got that whole little window, right? I feel like Mortal Kombat nor Starfield will struggle, but everything around them is liable.
Well, Lies of P comes out same day as Mortal Kombat, a week and a half after Starfield. Yeah, Lies of P is going to be, but I don't know. It's a specific
that is a specific genre
game. you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fan base is going to be different.
I hope they all do well, well enough. But I don't know. I like your idea about the whole I mean, I think it's almost you could see it on purpose. There is no games in December because well, why would there be? Just buy the September October games for Christmas, which is honestly pretty realistic to see. But I don't know. Like I don't think this can be the norm. Like with the economy and Game Pass
No,
is raising its prices, and you can't have like if you have like 25 games and that's like half the year and you have them releasing in 2 months, that is such a stupid thing to do. You know what I mean? I don't
I
think you can keep repeating that. You got to spread them
no.
out more.
I think what's going to happen. Well, what's not going to happen, but if it does, it would take something like Mortal Kombat or Starfield to hit like a huge loss or underperform
Yeah.
because of everything around it. And it doesn't have to be those two specifically, but something on those magnitudes where these are games that we're expected to sell really well and then they are underperform. That's when I think that other companies will look at it and go. But I think that they're also looking at this and saying, well, will people buy multiple things? Because that's kind of been a talking point with game releases as well. Like, well, companies don't want to release it here because this game is coming out and that game is coming out. And Jedi Survivor, I think, came out like 2 weeks within Zelda. And I don't think that that's seen too much like interference. So I'm thinking that there is going to be some unintentional experimentation going on here.
Yeah. I want to say hi to Wicked. What's going on, buddy? Think Alan Wake 2 will be over. Yeah. And that it's so sad because I legitimately, I think I said this in the tweet, I think it could be the best game of the fall. Like I think it could be better than Starfield, Spider-Man. I actually believe that. Will it? It'll probably be in the top 3, but I don't know if it'll necessarily be number 1. But you're talking about a very high quality game that's just a little niche, a little I don't know. I hope it does well. Jeremy, what's up, buddy? What do we got? So, did you play the demo for Final Fantasy, or did you not do that either?
I did play the demo.
Oh, very good.
Love it gets good after you complete the objectives in the demo.
Yeah. You
can just let loose.
Yeah. I love the Game of Thronesy vibe. I like how it looks. It had some and the performance issues of the base game are definitely something people are talking about. That scares me, but I cannot wait. Like I've been playing Crash. I played Crash.
I noticed.
Yeah. But it's done okay for me in channel views and stuff. But no, I've had to put in maybe 10 hours in 2 days in Crash, maybe probably more. But no, I'm excited to play. Really, it took, I would say, because I knew how much I was going to love Crash and I knew how much I was going to play it. If that demo it was elite. That was the best demo I think ever. I don't even know if you can make a demo better than that. But if it wasn't, I really don't know if I would have put Crash down. Because you got time, you got July, But I think because that demo was so freaking good, like I have to tonight. I have to play Final Fantasy. Oh, I'm sorry, Crash. I'll play Crash on the weekend, like during the day, and then play Final Fantasy at night. But yeah, such a good demo.
And I'm glad because you were like when the game first was announced, you were like iffy, and then you were so glad.
I've come around. Yeah, but because like we've said, for me, I played 7 Remake. I touched 15 for like 10 hours, and I liked it. And I tried to watch the story, but I kind of fell off that too. And that's it. I Integrate and the Yuffie DLC. I've never played. I now have the first 2 of the Lightning games physically. Mm-hmm. I have I think that's it. Like I don't, there's all the talks of like 6 getting a remake and 9 and 10. I actually have 10 on PS2. Christy has it. And but I've never touched, like I want to, like I've done with Yakuza, I want to do, but Final Fantasy is even longer, right? Yakuza is like 20 hours. Final Fantasy is like 50 maybe per game. I'd like to go on like a little journey of the Final Fantasy games, but 16 will be the first besides 7 remake, I guess.
If they want to keep remaking them, I will gladly wait until they remake them and then play it like that. Because there are some that I missed as well, like Final Fantasy. I played it a while ago, but when I say I'm new, I have not played everything or close to everything. So like for me, it's a lot of titles that I still have to play. But like my first experience was on PS2, but not much sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, is like Final. I've never heard anything. So it goes all the way up, right? Like I've never heard anything about Final Fantasy 11, or I think I've heard some stuff about 12. I don't think people talk about 11. 13
Mm-mm.
is the trilogy. 14 is the multiplayer, the MMO, and then 15 and 16. And then there's a lot of love for 6, 9, 10. 8 kind of gets overlooked. And then 1 through 5, you have the Pixel remaster thing that just came out.
Yep,
I don't hear much about Final Fantasies 1 through 5 often, but no, I'd like, yeah, I mean, if you could make them all like 7's remake, yeah, I'll play all of them. You know?
absolutely. I think a lot of people will be more welcome to them too because like it's almost it is a different experience than what you would play in the original
And it's a
ones
new
so far.
age, honestly. Like I I don't want to destroy the past. I'm not
No,
Kylo
me
Ren,
neither.
but I do understand the idea of like it'll be because there's always a lot of anger, specifically on Final Fantasy, about the turn-based combat, right? Like whether you keep it or you change it. And I get it, but I don't know, like Yoshi P, right, the of Final Fantasy 16, like he's talked about like you got to get Final Fantasy out to a bigger audience. Like we got to like generalize it a little bit more than it. And I get it, like from a business perspective, and Square Enix needs to make money, and so yeah, if you need, I don't know, because a lot of those are the turn-based stuff, like very hardcore, and if you change it, you're gonna make people mad. But I don't know, you could maybe increase your player base by like triple, and maybe that would be worth it, right? If you don't change the rest of the game. So Mirage and Alan Wake should move up a week, not back. Right, right. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
move back a week, you get into Spider-Man and
Mm-hmm.
you could move till November though, which is what you could just move to a more dead period. Um
December
all I've
even.
been doing is crash shaking my head. There you go. Yeah, I played with Wicked a few matches last night, and he said he was going to be bad, but he was actually pretty good. And what older classic game would you miss and you would love to be able to play again? I was thinking about Time Splitters too. So an old game that I'd like to play again. What do you got one? Oh, but then he says miss.
Miss.
So a game I just completely missed out on. It would probably be some of those Final Fantasy games because I've played
Yeah.
a lot of. I think back to the PS3 renaissance of Spec Ops and Transformers, like Fall of Cybertron War, and I've played all of them. I would like to play them again, or like Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. But if you're talking about a game that I've never played, I played Vanquish. I played The Darkness. Yeah, The Darkness too. So I think Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy would be it. Like most franchises that are like I feel like mostly talked about, I feel like I've gotten to most of them just about. So I like have no regrets, but Final Fantasy is probably one of the few ones left. That and Yakuza, I have games that I
There
have
you
not
go.
every single one of them. So that would probably be those two.
Yeah, yeah. You have to. It would probably be connected to a franchise, and it's
Hmm.
like even Portal or Left 4 Dead. Like I've played those long franchises. Yeah, like Yakuza would have been one, but I've played now 6 of them, so I'm catching up very quickly. Um, so yeah, I was thinking about the Mario RPG a lot. Yeah, I swear I saw Mr. Maddie Plays on Retro Rebound talk about it because I think if I didn't see it, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know there was an RPG. You know what I mean? I never knew that. So I'm pretty sure I watched a video like a month ago on it. And then when they did the remake, I was like, oh my God, I remember, just seeing that. Yeah, Nintendo went freaking wild yesterday.
They really did, and they had the nerve to do it in the morning. Like, let me wake up first.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They kind of split it, don't they? Sometimes they'll do it at like 5, 6 a.m. like my time. Sometimes they'll
Yep,
do it in like afternoon, but I feel like most times they say,
it's the
F
morning.
you, F you, we're gonna do it when you're asleep and you'll wake up to all this stuff. And that's what happened. So I definitely think demos are awesome, but yeah, that model is annoying. the model is. I think. Well, like with the PlayStation PS Now or whatever, or PlayStation Plus, shouldn't like remember when they talked about like all the games will have trials? I like
Yeah, like
that.
30-minute trials or something
Yeah,
like
like at
that.
least.
Yeah,
And there was like AI talk that like remember because the companies were afraid they'd have to do it, and then it's like, well, the store almost just like does it for you, like whatever kind of thing there. Um, I like the like I think the way the Final Fantasy did it, where they literally just gave because like I think back in time, right? When you play a demo, it's not the opening. Maybe sometimes, but like, you know what I mean? It's just a random level. Or I remember I played a Sly demo, Sly 3, and it was just like a random mid level. But
yeah,
for Final Fantasy, 2 hours, it's literally the beginning. And it's not timed. It just is the first 2 hours of the game, right? But it doesn't, clock you out. And then you do it and then you keep the save. I mean, the keeping the save thing because I wasn't
yeah.
gonna play it. I wasn't gonna do it because it's like, why am I gonna do it again 2 weeks later? You know what I mean? But the fact that now I don't have to do that again, and it was incredible. I would probably do it again, but you can just skip it. I freaking love that. So
I wish more companies would do that. I mean, I always love the demo phase only because it just gives you a taste of it. But I see why companies don't do it. But the way PlayStation is doing it is more beneficial to the consumer
yeah,
than a demo because you're getting the actual product, not something that's cut out specifically for you to taste, and it might be different in the final product.
yeah.
So
Well, if you do it wrong, it can turn
yeah,
like it's a big risk reward because if that demo was bad, then like I said, even me, someone who was gonna get it, but I don't really care too much. Crash. If that demo wasn't good, I would have said I'll buy it day one, but I'm not gonna play it day one. I'll wait. And so
yep.
you could go either way, and it turned out to be, oh, this is incredible. So how well do you think Arkham Knight? Honestly, I always make the jokes about like burning the Switch and all this stuff, like to light on fire. I've never played a third party game on the Switch, I think ever. At least big. I've never done it.
I've always like with Nintendo products, like for example, for the Wii U, my second game ever was Arkham Origins on there.
Huh. You
For
still
the
own that?
Switch,
It's probably worth a lot of money.
I have to go downstairs and check. I hope I do. I remember, but around that time specifically, I was trading in a lot of games like back and forth. I also worked at GameStop at that time, so like the
Dangerous.
bonus made,
Yeah.
yeah, like so. But I hope I do. But I think that it will work well. For the most part, third party games I used to get a lot. Like a lot of people trash the MK Switch version. I actually had, for the most part, pretty stable experience with that. Obviously the visuals take a tremendous hit, but other than that, frame drops here and there, like you can get through it. It's not something that you can't like play, if that makes sense. You just notice it. It
Yeah.
doesn't look pretty, but it plays fine, and that's kind of,
Yeah.
so I have faith that it will run like it should,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. I like to make the jokes, but honestly, not being a hypocritical, just telling the truth. Like, I've never played Witcher on it. I never played when Hogwarts comes out. I'm not playing it on the Switch. So
Oh no.
who am I? I'm not doing that. But so honestly, I don't even know how the Switch handles those things. I think people who played when it first released won't buy Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. Debatable because I just think
Ah,
I think having them all together, like I will say, I don't think they'll buy it when it first comes out. Like when I was looking through it yesterday, the releases, I did see Metal Gear and also Nintendo announced it yesterday, and I was thinking I want it, but there's no reason to get it in that October window. So I
mhm.
think that'll be, but like if they put MGS4, like that kind of stuff. Oh my god, because I have it on PS3, but you can't play that anywhere else. So like, I think there's definite want for it, but I don't think you need to get it right away. Just wait a month or two. It's fine.
Yeah, I think the only people that will get it in October, which is why I was thinking about debating it, would be the diehard community for that game. Who might just, like, for example, for me, there are certain things that I will get, even if there's other things that come around it, and like I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna prioritize this first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it because I want to have it. I want to
Yeah.
have it as part of like the collection of the franchise that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get to it when I get to it, but I need to have it. And that's kind of like I feel like
Wait,
Metal Gear has those fans.
wait until they do it for Castlevania and they do like 18 collection groups
Yes.
because it
Oh
will
my
happen.
god.
Have to go now, but I watch the replay later. Sounds good, buddy. Thanks so much for joining us. For those watching live and also those watching afterwards, just remember this is actually in a way like a going away. We're not going away forever, but a going away party. The next 3 episodes are all ready to go. They're all, I think, really good. We had a lot of fun, and they're ready to go up. So we'll be live again kind of towards the end of July. We got some good episodes for you. Yeah, I think my time it's either 6 or 7 is when it starts. The sun is the sun is rising. I know the sun
For
isn't
me,
even
it's 10
up
o'clock.
yet. Yeah, see, Eastern time. I lived in Eastern time until I turned 22, and then I moved. And since then, I've never been more than I'm always at least 2 hours behind Eastern. Most of it I've been 3 hours. And I do envy I think Eastern time because like businesses prioritize that. Like a lot of those kind of shows. Except for the one that they did on like Yakuza when they did it at night. I think it would have been like 1 a.m. your time, but it was like 11 p.m. my time. That's the only time it would have worked out. But for the most part, yeah, even these shows that are like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, people are up in the, Eastern side of the, of the U.S. I'm
The
not.
only thing that we get burned on is probably streaming services because
Well,
streaming services release like I know in PST they release at 12, which means that they release at like 3 for us.
right.
So we have to stay up at like 3 a.m. if we want to see it midnight.
Right. And well, technically, it's actually kind of tough. So like if I see a movie at the earliest time and you see a movie at the earliest time, who sees it first? I guess it depends.
Oh my
I guess
god.
it depends on when. See, okay, if you only did midnight, if you only did midnight releases, if it was like back 10 years ago, midnight releases would be better for you because we'd have to wait till midnight, which would be 3 a.m. your time. Yeah. Well, I'm only 2 hours actually behind you. I'm talking as if I am in Pacific time, but yeah, I don't know.
I think
but nowadays,
whenever
like
we get
movies
early
on day one, they release the movie at like 10 a.m. You could go see, Transformers that day, the night before, not even the night before. You could see it at like 2 if you wanted to.
That's amazing. Like I think I haven't checked. I haven't tried to see one that early, but like traditionally I've always noticed like 8 or like 7 or 8. But like next time there's a movie that comes out like a day earlier. Yeah, I have to look into that because I always just go to like what's the 8 o'clock showing?
I saw I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think I saw at 5:45. I think that was the show time. For Scream, I saw it like 6 or 6:30. There was a show for like 4. So I kind of wanted to see it as early as possible to do a review and stuff and to just see it. So yeah, nowadays, and I have seen a movie. I've never gone, but I know there's been like it comes out on a day, but it really comes out the day before. And I've seen showings at like noon that day before. Like it can get as early as almost like a full. And back in the day, like my sister and my mom went to see Twilight, and that was the midnight. Everybody was there. It was the midnight showing. Force Awakens, I went at like 10:30 was the only. Maybe there's one other show, but it was late. You had to go late. Nowadays, you can go for lunch,
Which isn't. I mean, I'm glad that that's there. It's like kind of like gaming, right? Like where you go to GameStop and you used to have like the midnight releases, man. It's like I miss it just because the atmosphere, but having that available the day before, you can miss the crowds completely.
Or some of them, they'll do like it'll unlock regionally, or they'll say it releases on a day, and then all of a sudden they'll say, well, really it releases like 20 hours before we said. I think like Life is Strange did something crazy like that too. It's like, oh my God. If there was no info on Metroid Prime 4, then I don't consider Nintendo going wild. LOL, but that's just me. That's true. Well, here's the thing. They know they got you. They know they got you yesterday. They don't need they they got Metroid Prime 4 just hanging out in a little dark corner, and they don't care. They know that they can unleash it whenever they feel like it, you know?
A good company, especially one that's good at marketing, will always, if they know they have a lot of big cards to play on the table, they're going to put a big card away for emergencies, just in case there's either something that goes wrong or they're lacking on a lot of other titles. This is going to be the big thing that you're going to talk about. They're going to keep that to the side.
Yeah.
That was done by design.
And Nintendo does it more than Nintendo. Literally,
Anybody.
I don't know if it's been admitted, but like all the rumors of like that Fire Emblem was done like a year before it released. Like
Yep.
Nintendo, unlike Sony and Microsoft, it'd be like if Starfield was done a year and a half ago and it was done. They weren't working on it anymore. They moved on, and Microsoft just sat on it and said, "We'll release it when we feel like it. It's done." They're not even doing it anymore. But like nobody. Why would you even do that? And Nintendo is the only one that's wild enough to do that. You know, like
At least we know it's finished.
yeah, like that Super Mario Wonders game, I bet you is done and has been done for a while. Like
Yeah.
they're just so weird, but I love it. I love it. I'm not sure if this has been said before, but if games are digital only, then you're tied into the console store's pricing structure. A physical disc means you can shop around and get the best deal. That's a great freaking point. And I didn't even mention that in my video. Yeah. People wanting to get rid of it. People going third part, like a Mercari or an eBay or whatever. The stores, yeah, you wait for that sale. And if there is no sale, which Nintendo is good at, if there is no sale, then there's no sale. You know? That's a good point. I don't think either of us have talked about that.
No. Paul, great job. that was a great point. That stumped me because I mean, like, we obviously it's something that you kind of like think about, but you don't really think about like the implications of that, like cutting off a whole market and being like a driving force to do it. Like,
yeah, it's all in your hands. It's when you want to do a summer sale or spring. And if you feel like 1 year you don't want to do it, there's no other way of getting Alan Wake 2. That's a scary one, even right there, Alan Wake 2. So you literally sit there. Maybe you think it's too, and you know, like everybody's money thing is different. So maybe you look at Alan Wake and you say it comes out same month, all this stuff as other games. It's too expensive. Well, you're at their, not even Remedy. Well, maybe, but I mean, they would get lesser. I don't even know how sales really work. I assume they need to get permission from them. I don't know, but you'd have to wait for Alan Wake 2 to drop because you're not going to find it online. So yeah,
that is scary.
Yeah. Jeff, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I recognize the name. I recognize the symbol. I played half of the Lies of P demo, but I'm probably going to need to replay all that on Game Pass. Yeah. I didn't worry about that. Like I think I'm with you in the thought. Like for Final Fantasy, you know, I was not going to do it unless the save thing worked. For Lies of P, I kept dying at the boss at the end, and I died like 4 times. And I was like, well, I could keep trying, or this will be in the game. I'll have to redo this. So why bother? And so I kind of did that exact same thing. Yeah. Did you do the Lies of P demo?
I did not.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But it's not something that, I don't know. It's not at the top of like I'm getting pretty worried. I'm getting pretty worried because Starfield is going to take hundreds of hours. It's not a game that you can beat in a week and a half to get ready for Mortal Kombat. Like you could realistically
have to put it down.
Yeah, you'll have to make the choice. Like you'll have to put it down for Spider-Man because you won't be done. Sorry.
No,
you won't be done.
Starfield. The good thing about Starfield is that is going to be the game that gets me through the year, right? So after I finish, like, say, the story from Mortal Kombat, and when I'm not like playing Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter for fun or AEW for fun, that's going to be the game I go back to and say, like, I finished everything. Right. So everything else that I'm doing is just like literally if I just want to burn some time. Yeah. So this is going to be the thing that I get through. So I'm kind of very excited about that just for the aspect. And then like even after you finish like the main objective in Starfield, there's going to be so much stuff that you have not done. It's going to take you probably it's 100 hours minimum if you just want to finish the story stuff. It's got to be.
I'm going to do a video actually when we're done because Todd did the thing with Kind of Funny, and he was talking about the shipbuilding, how many resources you're going to need, and it's gonna take you a long time. That's like an end game thing. The outpost thing is like a thing. You can send cargo between planets at your outpost, which I think they said during the direct, but I'm not 100%
They did.
sure. Okay,
They
I
said you could
mean,
build an outpost and you can. Yeah,
yeah,
they
you can.
mentioned. I've watched that direct multiple times.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can shuttle resources between them. I mean, it's nuts. And I'm
It
actually
is.
more afraid for my backlog / like the old, like how I'm doing the Yakuza games, because yeah, like Starfield, why would I do the old games when I still haven't beaten Starfield? You could do that hundreds of hours, so I'm not going to be able to go out back and play my old games that I want to play. Oh my god.
I'm gonna have to put it down and like just like Assassin's Creed comes out, like or anything like Spider-Man comes out, put it down, play, beat,
Yeah.
pick it back up. That's literally how it's gonna have to go. It's gonna get the Fire Emblem treatment. The TRPG games that like that's the treatment that they're gonna get. Like
Yeah.
play it, put it down, play other stuff, come back to it.
And that's us. I mean, there's going to be people that play it nonstop, and the
For sure.
modders and all that. They got a big community. They'll be fine.
They will
I
be
didn't think
fine.
the Flash movie was that bad. I thought the humor was well done. The main story plot was forgettable, though. I did not
I'm
see it.
seeing it tomorrow. So
Whoa.
I have not seen it. I was excited to see it, and then somewhere along the lines, I'm like, I'm gonna wait, and because conflicting reports came out, and I was thinking like, I don't know what it was. It took me a while for it to hit me, but I'm like, maybe it was seeing Ezra Miller walk on that red carpet, and I was just like, I'm gonna wait. I don't want to give you the first week sales. Give you.
Did you see the quote where they laughed at they said there was never a time they were considering anything with Ezra. And the quote was they laughed when they saw reports online of Ezra being recast. And here's the thing. And for Jeff, because I mean, no disrespect. If you like the movie, that's awesome. I take great pleasure in this thing failing in the box office. I love that it's getting this movie is going to lose them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh, for sure.
And I am so happy. So I want to say to when they were laughing about recasting Ezra, are you laughing now? Are you looking at the money and you're laughing that you screwed it up?
He was the reason why. He was legitimately the reason why. I can tell you coming up and like it's been documented on this podcast. Like I was excited for the movie. I was and it was just something about seeing him walk on the red carpet and all smiles. And there was that quote from the director that said, his performance was going to make you forget everything that he did.
Oh,
things. And it was just a lot of things that went into it where I just went and like, I'm looking and I'm hearing different things. And then you start seeing the box office and you're going, he had an effect like that. Everybody was excited for this movie. And I imagine what happened was everybody had the same reaction that I did. We was excited for it. And then it came and it was like that thing of like, I'm gonna see the movie. I don't know if I want it to be the first week because your sales go into that first week sales. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see what happened. And it looks like the world did it. The movie, what I will say is the movie for the most part seems positive from fans and they love what they seen, but a lot of people just did not want to support Ezra. And I think that is where they messed up at. There was nothing that they could do.
Bad CG. There's some really atrocious, but
which allegedly is on purpose,
and it's absolutely not. That's a lie. Just like Ezra is a lie. But yeah, I mean, like my cousin saw it and he said he really liked it. He gave it an 8.5, I think, out of 10. And we always say like it's your money. It's your money. It's your entertainment. Don't let anybody sway it. Not to bring, I guess, that word in, but you know what I mean? Like you got to do what you feel is right, or what you want to do. If you want to watch entertainment, it's not a crime. But yeah, like it honestly is disgusting behavior. I think of Ezra can do all this stuff and literally, yeah. I think it was like the costume direct. It was it wasn't the director who said the whole that they'll make you forget, but it was somebody higher up, and it's like this this, I mean, do we have to go through Ezra's legitimate crimes against people? And it's like, and you tout him out there and all these interviews. Well, he didn't do that many interviews, but it's like, that's just disgust. Like, I'm sorry, and it's okay. You can go watch. These are not, I don't think anybody is supporting Ezra. Even if you see the movie, I don't think anybody is going and saying, I want to give Ezra Miller some money. I don't think that individual has a care in the world from any person. Okay. Until they turn their life around. Which I don't, maybe is happening, but also like you never face.
It's hard to know because we don't know.
Yeah. You don't
There's
know.
no way to.
And where's the punishment? Like you don't just get to assault people. That's not like allowed,
One thing I did see, I did watch a few videos on other like movie content creators' perspective on this, and they were kind of shocked that because apparently it's not just fans, but it's like the industry is kind of like done with Ezra.
Yeah.
Which is, if that's true, then I mean that probably is the punishment then, is that he's not getting roles.
I mean, why in God's name would you cast Ezra Miller after the last 3 years? Oh my God.
And that's probably why they did what they did, because there's no point in punishing him and then letting him go. He did it himself. Yeah. He's self-inflicted. So
my old library was elite. I got so many 360 games for free from my library as a kid. Then I decided Transformers was too violent because it was rated T. LOL. I wanted, I've been collecting the older games and stuff. I wanted to get the War and Fall of Cybertron games. They're not like, we're not talking hundreds of dollars, but they're like $60. They're like a normal, which is a lot to ask for like a 10-hour. But it's probably because of the movie. Like if I wait a year, I bet you I could get it for not $60. It's probably, I was looking literally in June with the movie. So yeah, those games were elite. Oh, what about this way? What do you think on the Secret Invasion AI thing? I think it looked atrocious.
Yes.
I think it looked awful.
I was shocked that they did it. I'm not the really backlash shocked that they're getting for it is incredible. Yeah. They should. I hope they learn a lesson after this. Yeah. I really do.
But what do you think? Like what? So you have what? It's a 7-episode or 6-episode event. The intros are done. So like next week, you're going to have to trot it back out. You can't change it. You can't change it in a week, right? So I am not shocked. I think this is kind of like one of the final evolutions of people noticing that Disney doesn't care and, is going for cheap stuff like this. I think it's a good wake-up call, and I think it's too late. I think like they can't do anything. I haven't watched it yet. I saw that, I guess Nick Fury is a sad, pathetic old man who's down in the dumps. I mean,
that's
what
I heard.
Do that to every character, or is
it and this has been a problem that I've been saying that Marvel, but mainly Disney and the industry, DC did it and they got new ownership and that's pivoted. They did it with Superman though.
Yeah.
Which is and I'm noticing it with Peter Parker in the comics, which is you're making iconic characters and you're devaluing these iconic characters. You're making them a shell of themselves because you want to push something else. It could be a new character that you made. It could be, and we've seen it with Boba Fett and the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian was a good character, but all he was is what Boba Fett was supposed to be. What Boba Fett was traditionally. So they made you dislike Boba Fett more. So that way, when you compare him to Mandalorian, they're like, you like the Disney version more than you like the original Lucasfilm version. And that's what a lot of these companies are doing. And people are noticing it, as you said. And that's Disney is the king of that right now. And it is extremely frustrating. And it's a situation where like Marvel is, I do not like the MCU right now. I don't like a lot of things that they're doing in the comic books. Literally, the video games right now is the only thing that's keeping me a full Marvel fan. Like DC is turning their ship around slowly, but Marvel, they're losing me. I'm almost.
I even think back, Pirates 5 came out 6 years ago, and one of my most hated parts of it is they made Jack Sparrow a drunk he couldn't do it. He was a different character, and somebody who's watched those films more than 99% of the population, you can just even in how Johnny Depp was acting, and I assume that was given to him, they tried to kill his character to push other characters, and like I should have maybe seen that 6 years ago, and that's really it had. And you can do. I'm not saying like a character can never go through adversity or a character can't be down in the dumps, but we're in like a honestly, Pirates is more. Well, I guess Luke. Now, Pirates was 2017. When was Luke? 2018 was The Last Jedi, I think. So yeah, really, maybe 2015. The last like 10 years, it's just this era of making characters, mainly men, these down in the dumps. They're all losers, pathetic, and they have to kind of either rise up or they have to have help from somebody else. Or it's like, and you can do it, but like to do it to all of them in a span of time is weird. Like you can't do anything else.
And the thing that I don't, the message that sends, and the content creators has kind of felt it, public figures feel it, the feeling that you have to be perfect. Now, Superman is a iconic character because he's what every human being should strive to be as a person. Nobody is that good. Nobody is that, and it's impossible. Everybody has mistakes. Everything that people are being criticized for or canceled for are, for the most part, unless they're like heinous acts, are things that everybody has probably done one point or another in their life. Nobody is perfect, and they're trying to write these characters to be perfect. And the characters that were not perfect, but were icons and role models to generations, they're now beating on, picking on, and trying to put over their new product that is honestly way more unrealistic and unattainable than the previous ones that they crap on all the time. That is, I don't like that model, and something's got to be done.
And the last thing I'll say, in the same kind of sphere, I'm sick and tired of it wasn't Samuel L. Jackson, but it was maybe the director. Remember, I tweeted yesterday where they again were told, don't read the comics. What we're doing here has nothing to do with that. You call yourself Secret Invasion. There's a Secret Invasion arc in the comics. You were told to not read it because you're doing nothing like that. Well, then why are you doing it? Why did you call it that? And again, in isolation, you can write it, and people on Twitter do. Oh, it's no big deal. This happens at everybody. Last of Us. You're told to not look at the performance of the person you're playing. What happened? The Witcher? What happened to studying? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to embody them. You're somebody different. But like, shouldn't you study who these people are, what the stories are, just to have that knowledge? That's why I like Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill knows that stuff doesn't mean he has to reenact it, but just to know, you know what I mean? And again,
because you get the essence of the story. There is no essence there. Like, there is nothing like it's, for all credit, like even the actress that plays Miss Marvel, she knew her stuff in and out. And they had to keep telling her, to the point where they told her not to watch certain stuff because she had issues with a lot of things that they did. And like, why isn't it this way? Why isn't it that way? Like, that's what we need more of, is people who read the source material. Obviously, we don't want a one-on-one what happened in the comic books, but you know how characters should act. You know how the story should kind of be, like what type of respect the story should be told in. It's none of that is there because y'all want to, for what? Like making it, you want an Oscar? Or what more do you want out of it? We ain't here for that. If you want to make that movie, go do a whole different IP. We want what we want, and you can give those whatever, like, I guess you'd call them like the more involved actors. I'm a former actor. I should probably know this stuff. But you should just give them their time and let genres be, basically. Don't try to make a specific genre adhere to the same rules as other genres. Let it be what it is.
It's sad, but it is what it is. A digital copy of Terraria on some long forgotten Xbox 360 account has vanished from me. If I had a disc, that wouldn't be a problem. Yep. Yeah, we've talked about that. You know, if they want to turn it off, they turn it off, and you're Screwed. Sony got sued in the UK for locking digital users into their store. They don't allow for Amazon digital codes. Yep. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say that reminds me of this Xbox trying to put Sony out of business. They're both companies are doing some sketchy stuff.
And
I don't know
even
how much
and
I
then even
believe
today
that,
there was
but
the thing from Jim Ryan back in January where he's actually not afraid of COD leaving, that he believes COD will still be on PlayStations going forward. But he is, he doesn't want the deal. I'm so tired. They're both kind of scummy. Jim
yes,
Ryan, Phil Spencer, the companies themselves. And the Xbox thing is worrisome.
I
I
don't
made a
believe it
video.
though.
I don't know if you saw,
I
like yesterday, I was talking about in a video on this channel, and it's tough because it's like, well, you're in a company and you probably don't want you want to be the best, so you want to eliminate the competition, but you say it. That I guess I just have a problem with like the hypocrisy, right? Like you can't say that in 2019, then buy up these companies and say, well, we're not really after Sony. Well, you said a few years ago you want to get Sony out. You're making all these big deals to remove games from PlayStation. Kind of seems like it's part of the plan. So
mhm.
that, and it's okay if it is, but don't lie. Just say it. We don't like them. We want them gone. It's not going to look good, but that's what
Nope.
that's what you say internally anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is a little worrisome because I do think you kind of know Xbox, but yet again, does PlayStation do it? I'm sure. I'm sure Jim Ryan hates them and wants them gone.
I mean, but PlayStation, I feel like if there's any two companies, PlayStation has been the more aggressive with trying to get Xbox out of there. If you really look at it, with the exclusivity, the deals that they got super aggressive, and Microsoft for all the acquisitions that everybody, this is catch up for them.
Yeah.
Like every
Well, I
acquisition
will play
is
devil's
catch up.
advocate and say I feel like Xbox started it in the
Oh,
360
they did.
era.
They were
So
the first to have the exclusive deal with Call of Duty. They were the
yeah,
first, and then Sony got the contract, but Xbox was the originators of it.
yeah,
So they started it, and they started a war that they probably did not think was going to turn into one.
yeah.
But I mean, they're playing catch up, and that's why I'm like, for these acquisitions, they don't really bother me because they've been
Oh yeah,
behind.
yeah,
Admittedly, they admitted they've been behind.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the thing yesterday or today where they said just a few years, 2021, they're like 16% of the market share or something. Like they're openly admitting that they're not that powerful. But like I said with that Phil Spencer thing when he went on Kind of Funny, it only takes like if Starfield is a game of the year thing, you watch. I do not agree with Phil at all. I don't know how he can think that way. If Starfield is big, if Hellblade is like a critical darling, you can turn it around in like half a year. You can.
I believe he believes what you just said. It's just not the political correct thing to
Oh,
say at
yeah.
the time.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why I think that he's, like everybody was freaking out, and I'm like, well, they're trying to get an acquisition done.
That's true.
He's
Yeah,
not.
you
He's
gotta act
not
like you're
going
playing
to.
from behind. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. They know this. They
Like,
got Gears of War. They got.
yeah.
They have a lot of things. Like and the new IPs, and then you got the IPs of the acquisitions that you just made
Oh,
and the
yeah.
ones you're trying to make. They're not. I mean, like the only reason why they want Sony out of business is believable to me is simply because of what we heard that they might do if the deal doesn't go through, which is going to be worse for Sony if that happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, people have like ADHD, like everybody. Everybody has very low attention. People are not like these console warriors are a very small. They are not even a
very
1%. I don't even think they're
no.
close to 1%. People don't if you take Crash, if you take COD, people will go. They have no
Yep.
allegiance to the PlayStation box. People will go or they'll get both. Like which is me. I won't leave PlayStation. I love PlayStation. I love the system. I love the controllers. Always have, always will. But I'll go and get the other one too, which I have the
Yeah.
last several of it. Right. So that's, but yeah, I think you're right. I think he has to be smarter than that. Like in real life, he's got to not actually believe what he said there, and that's probably true. Because
And
it's
the
not true.
actions
Yeah,
that,
they have
like, just
so
looking at the
much.
moves.
Yeah, they have so much, and people are easily, they can flip flop all. Now they can lose them too if any of these are bad. It's like
Mhm.
Redfall, it did, I'm sure, some damage to them. And if
Oh, for
Starfield
sure.
were to come out and not be good, it I don't want to say it's game over because I think that's too aggressive, but you will never forget that.
No.
Starfield is a
And
disaster.
I think that's why I look at Xbox and I think the beautiful thing about that showcase, as far as like what goes against everything that Jim Ryan said about like, like games doesn't sell consoles and things like that, was that look at every game that they had on there. What legacy Xbox title did you see? There was no Halo.
Yeah.
There was
There's
no
Fable,
Gears of
but
War. There was Fable, but Fable, how long has it been since
yeah,
we've seen a
yeah.
Fable?
And
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 that's why
and it's debatable if that was even the same kind of Fable as what we've gotten.
exactly. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, I'm looking at it and I go like the titles that have been your flagship titles for years
Yeah, they weren't
did
even there.
not even show up. And you had other games. And that's why I'm like, you can see it in the action
Yeah.
that he doesn't believe that, but he's saying what he has to say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. All right, let's we're gonna rapid fire these comments and then we'll let you guys go. I trade in physical copies of my games at GameStop towards the next one, especially annual sports games or COD. Helps keep costs down, especially with $5 in-store coupons. Yeah, there's still, and you're trading it for another one. So I
Yep.
will say, I regret. I don't know how old you are, Jeff, but like I think like Sway had said, when I was like 15 to 19, I had Twisted Metal on PS3. I thought I had it. I looked through. Where is it, Christy? Where is it? It's not here, Alex. I traded it away. Um, God of War 3. I played that game like 7 times. I had it in my hand. It's not there. I
Mhm.
got worried. I thought I lost it, but no, I must have traded. So I will tell you, I have regrets because
Same.
I traded in Gravity Rush, which was a stupid move. I traded in I traded in a couple. I traded in probably 4 to 6 games that I really regret. I traded in The Order 1886. I actually kind of want it, like just to have it. It's like $5. I can find it again. But some of these, like Gravity Rush, is like $50, and I had it physically. And I was looking through my PS4 games. Why did I trade that in? Right. So I made some stupid calls when I was a
A lot
teenager.
of a lot of decisions that I've made as far as trading games in. I'm like, they got me the game that I wanted short term, but like looking back on it, I'm like,
It's not
I'm
worth
a
it.
collector. I like the collection.
Yeah.
I'm missing games that I'm gonna have to now rebuy. I'm gonna pay more money than I did
Yeah.
when I
That yeah.
originally had them. Like if I don't have that Arkham City, like because I didn't even know it was worth anything until you said
Yeah.
it. So now I'm panicking. I'm like, I hope I did not trade that in.
I got all of them. I got Origins on PS3. I actually can see all. I have Arkham Asylum, the red one though, where it's like the greatest hits. I don't know
Mhm.
why. I must have because I bought it like the second day it was out. I don't even know how it could have been a greatest hits. I must have traded in my original Asylum and bought it
And then got it back.
afterwards. And I
I
hate
do
the
still have my original one for Arkham
oh
Asylum.
man. And even like Resistance is the greatest hits one. I don't like that. I kind of follow Maddie of Retro Rebound and all that, where I like them when they're the original. No greatest hits, no collection. Well,
Same.
if a collection special, but yeah, I want the original. So yeah, you just end up paying for it later. Like now I got, like you said, you get the game that you wanted when you traded them in, but now I want those games back. So I'm going to have to rebuy it. So, but you're a kid, you're a teenager, you don't have a lot of money.
You make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's perfect. You can't imagine my ire at the fact that every single game release comes right after summer break ends. August will be a big month for gamers. Armored Core,
Oh,
Gamescom, possibly the Arc Room. Yep. How old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, buddy? Or not you, Sway, him. Zilly. Um, are you almost out of school? But, yeah, I mean, I hated that growing up too. Like, there's no games in July, which is like the dead of your summer vacation, no matter when you go back to school. So then you come back in August and then things start to pick. I look at hockey in October as like a kickoff of the fall, you
you
know.
think that they do that because they feel like a lot of kids will not be inside the house?
They say that. I don't believe they believe that because I just
Not in this current age, because a lot of people don't. A lot of kids don't go out
yeah.
anymore.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was that way. Yeah, it could have been because now again, people are everybody, not just kids. Everybody is
Yeah,
very like ADHD. If a game comes out, you'll not go outside. You'll play the game.
yeah.
If it's a good enough game. So yeah, maybe that was the reason. Like in the mid 2000s because gaming wasn't as powerful, right? Played the Lies of P demo. The game is not for me. That's totally fine.
That's fine.
Lies of P is the hardest game I've played. Not for it's not the hardest. Some like Demon Souls is definitely harder than Lies of P. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Right now. Also, after the absolute bomb that the Flash was being reported, that'll be on Max within a month. Good.
That may alter if I go.
Yeah, then you have to look that up. So tired of Souls-like games. I get that. There's a lot of them. They're talking about WB selling DCU franchise to Netflix right now. Yeah, I saw some of that. But they're working on but it's like a non-exclusivity thing. So like it wouldn't just be on Netflix. It would also be on Max, which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So basically any like their content, some of their content that's already made would go to Netflix, but it's not like the actual DC franchise. But like the DCU, for example, if they want to bring back like Henry Cavill and all of that stuff, that's the stuff that like they would go to Netflix, and then it would also be on Max.
Do it, yeah. People mentioned that with Zack Snyder. I think that's a
it's a necessary evil because the Snyderverse fans, as toxic as they are, I love the Snyderverse, but they will boo, they will bomb everything else that DC does because it's not. You at this point, I hate to say it, but you have to give them their ending and let Zack come back. So if they do that on Netflix, if that would stop them not supporting and doing everything else that's not Snyderverse everywhere else, that's a necessary evil.
Did you see the whole Gal Gadot? Remember there was a few days where it's not like she's done, but then she said they're actively talking about it, of her coming back. So like, why would she come back as Wonder Woman? By the time James Gunn does something, she'd be like in her 40s. I highly doubt it. So maybe something else. Yeah. There's a lot of hate for her. I don't get it. I know she's not like that great of an actress, but I think she's fine. And
I think she used to be universally loved until there was something like in 2020 that happened.
Well, she sang that Imagine song, but also it's because of her Israel stuff of the war. So politically, people hate her. So,
she seems like a wonderful person to me.
Yeah. She doesn't seem like somebody who's going to be kidnapping babies.
Yeah,
or her friend will. What's up, Telos? Are we excited about Craven? That trailer. Okay, I'm not. No disrespect. I don't want you to say, "Well, Alex, I kind of liked it." I hated it. I thought it looked atrocious, and I will not watch it. But if you liked it, that's totally fine. I'm dead serious. It was so bad.
It was. He got his power from a lion. I didn't like that. I'm like, why can't you just let
just like Morbius.
Craven be Craven? And I was like,
it's Morbius.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm too much of a Spider-Man fan, as you can see, but I can't.
I will not. And Madam Web, I think, will either be the worst of the three or the best. Mm-hmm. It will not be in the middle. It'll either be the worst thing you've ever seen in your life, or it'll be like surprisingly good. That's what I think for that.
It always shocks me because Sony, you have made every Spider-Man movie we have seen.
Across
you made Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. You made the Tobey Maguire ones. You made the Andrew Garfield ones. You even made the Tom Holland ones, which a lot of people Marvel helps write those, but Sony makes those.
Yeah.
Like, you have made all of these, and you're giving us Morbius and Craven. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
And it's not worth it. I don't care if that movie cost 20, and it didn't. Like, that movie probably cost 50, 60, 70 million. The movie is going to bomb. It's not good. Like, if you think Shazam was the lowest one, you just wait, because we're not there yet. We're not there. Blue Beetle, I think, is honestly going to completely bomb. It'll probably be better than Flash, but I think Blue Beetle is going to struggle to make anything, because who cares?
He has no name recognition.
Yeah.
The only thing that he does have going for him is that he is a DCU character. So he's
now we get to test if people care about that. Right? Yeah. Now we get because that's their thing. Well, this is going to be part of the new going forward. Okay.
Yeah,
if it bombs, people don't care about that either. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter to them, right? Maybe because of Cobra Kai, like Cobra Kai fandom may support him. That's Zolo. So, I don't want it to fail, but I don't think it's gonna make any money.
I am extremely concerned about it because Blue Beetle himself does not have a huge name recognition at all. So this is going to be I doubt even a lot of like casual fans even know about the DCU change at all anyway.
Yeah, nobody can.
So it's going to be difficult. It's an uphill battle for them. Like James Gunn said, he had an interview with Michael Rosenbaum last week.
Yep.
And Blue Beetle is the first character that we're going to see in the DCU, but he's the first movie in the first product you're actually going to see made for the DCU will be the shows in the Superman movie.
Right.
So my guess is that Blue Beetle was a movie that it's just a movie, and then they liked it. They like the character.
Yeah.
They want to bring him and the actor into the new one, so they're just making this work. That's my guess.
Which is fine. The Marvels trailer already confirms that Fury gets his. I was thinking that. I was no joke when I did see the stuff. Tired old man. I did think of the Marvels trailer, and I thought, well, he probably figures it out at some point. So that is true. That's true. Hey, yeah, no disrespect to. Again, you watch what you want to watch. Miss Marvel was the most atrocious example of misrepresentation ever made. I've never laughed so hard. Secret Invasion is a huge arc in Marvel Comics, along with Infinity. Yep. He said that. Yeah, Jim Ryan didn't even show up to the court thing. XX now saying they lost the console wars, but trying to get PlayStations out of gaming. Yeah, see, that's where I don't like it. That's where I don't. Yep, they started the war. People stay where their friends play more than certain games. That's
that
true.
was me when I was younger.
Yeah, but as people get older, yes, it's always going to be a kid's thing. But as you get older, you do lose those allegiances. And you also lose friendships, like you just have less friends. And
you get more, I mean, depending on the situation, you might have the means to buy other consoles. So
yeah, when you're a kid, you may only be able, your parents could maybe only get one. And yeah. So it's tough because it will always be a kid's thing, but there's also going to be more. I was talking to a friend about this last week. You think about like in the next like 10, 15 years, there's more 40-year-olds playing games than ever before. And in 10 years, there'll be even more. Because gaming's kind of for life, right? So 30-year-olds that'll be 40, they're not going to jump off. They'll keep playing. And then there'll be 50.
Do you know what the highest? Okay, go.
Then there'll be like, is there any 60-year-olds playing games right now? Not really. Give it 10, 15 years for those 40-year-olds to age. Then there will be, you know what I mean? So there'll always be more old people playing than ever before. And so that I think will break up, again, this allegiance kind of, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And the actual average gamer that like plays games, the highest average is actually 35 to 40.
Yeah. I remember seeing
And then as far as that one goes, I'd say he's probably out of the regular like average gamer, but I did have a customer at GameStop. He was about 78. And he actively came in like every month or whenever there was a big release of a game, and he picked it up. And he had definitely had health issues and things like that. So we would, but man, that was inspiration to me, man.
That's
like
sweet.
You are gaming at this age, still going health issues, and you don't care. You're coming into GameStop, getting this game, and you're getting out. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. I hope I can do it. Mystic videos and buying retro. Yep, I've seen some of his stuff on that.
Yep.
Spidey, Web of Shadows, and The Punisher, the two that got away. Those games are way up there in price. Oh, yes, they are. Any Shatter Dimensions, Web of Shadows, all those.
I still have mine.
Those are worth a lot, man. Keep them. Don't ever get rid of them. I don't think you would now, but
no.
Those are two. Really, the Sly collection is like $60-$70. That's a good one. I have that. Like the Silent Hill collection, Metal Gear collection, those are kind of worth a good amount. So Spider-Man, those some of those Spider-Man games or some of the Sonic games, even some of them can get into the hundreds of dollars, which is nuts. I can't afford that. I think, or I like we're getting, there are, I mean, July isn't barren. There are games, and August isn't barren. There are games. It's just it's not as much as the fall and the spring. So just a little bit. They're getting there, but we still have a little bit more to go. No, I have no interest in the
No,
Indiana.
none.
Absolutely none.
The game, yes. The movie, no.
I'll be on. I watched a spoiler cast where they went through it, and I'm not pleased. So I know what happens, and I'm not happy. So and you could listening to it versus seeing it, but the person said like Crystal Skull is better, much better, and that is alarming. So
That is.
so because that should have been the worst you can go, but it's not. But yeah,
Oh,
no, I'll probably watch it eventually, but I'm not gonna go see it. But I don't really see movies, right? That's the thing you always got to remember with me. I see like 5 movies a year, so don't go based off me for anything movie related. All right, Sway, we went a little over, but you know what? It was the last episode for a bit, so I think they deserved it. Any last thoughts?
Thank you guys for always supporting us. I am gonna miss doing this live.
Yeah.
But we only gotta go 3 episodes and then we are back. So I am gonna miss y'all. Make sure to comment, like, and obviously reach out to us on Twitter, Discord, anything.
Yeah.
I am gonna miss you guys for 3 weeks, but I'm gonna be in those comments in each video, looking and making sure, watching what you guys say. And thank you for tuning in. Please, thank you.
Yeah, we got some good episodes, I think, and hopefully you guys like them. And if you don't like them, well, we'll be back with the stuff you do like afterwards, so it's okay. No, we do appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. As we always say, these episodes really over the last month and a half, 2 months, they've really taken a step up. So we really do appreciate it. And we'll be back. And I think we should hit episode 50 this year, considering how many weeks we got. So that'll be exciting. And we'll have guests. There's a couple people that I definitely want to have on eventually. So we'll keep it going. All right. So thank you all for watching. Go play Final Fantasy, and we'll see you all on the next one.